Why becoming a millionaire in your 20s absolutely sucks. In this video, I'm going to go over all the myths, misconceptions, and the things that nobody really talks about. We all see these flashy Lamborghinis, big houses, lifestyles where people aren't working on YouTube and on social media. In today's video, we're going to talk about the reality of what that situation is and why those people represent less than the lottery chance of what's actually happening. And for all those millionaires in their 20s, their lives aren't as good as you might think. Before we get too far into the video, if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. There's lots of information on this channel that will help aspiring entrepreneurs and ultimately help you make more money in your lifespan. Well, I don't want it to sound like being a millionaire in your 20s is not the best thing that could happen to you. While it is one of the better things that could amount in your lifespan if you were able to do that, it's not easy, and people often lose what happens with people that become millionaires in their 20s, and they don't understand the path to get there. Before I get too far, because I want to make some caveats, we're assuming these are self-made millionaires, not people that have inherited money, not people that were hit by a bus and had a settlement. These are people that made their money working and doing entrepreneurial things to become millionaires in their 20s. Well, I'd like to say I'm a millionaire in my 20s. I'm still in my 20s and I'm not yet a millionaire, so this doesn't necessarily apply to me. That's the goal, though. I'm hoping by the end of my 20s I will be, on paper, knock on wood, a millionaire. And I'd like to say I'm doing a lot of the things that, potential millionaires are doing right now, including being kind of miserable with what I'm doing and how much work I'm putting into my life to try to get to that point, because that's something I'd like to be able to say that I've done in my 20s. So let's get into it, because I don't want to beat around the bush. I think the biggest thing that people on the outside viewing into people's lives lose when they're only looking at these social media YouTuber lifestyles is that most people that have become millionaires in their 20s have started a business, or, well, that's really it, or they're very successful in sales. But for the most of the people, like I can almost make a generalization, it's so much of a proportion, have started a business. And what people from, again, the outside, when they see these people, what they lose is the fact that the people in their 20s that have started a business, accumulated $1 million, or accumulated $1 million in equity, what they forget is that they've been working 70 to 90 hours a week, working every single day of the week for years and years of their life. Likely they started working right out of college, or it even didn't go to college, and probably hit that millionaire status if they are lucky by their late 20s, but they've lost probably the most exciting 6, 7, 8 years of their life, right? When you have the most energy, you have the most time, you have the least things pulling you down, constraining you, and they don't get to do that until they're older, and inherently things are different. So they've given up the golden years of their life. And I think that one thing that we forget is that there's no secret way to skip that. There's no win a lottery situation with starting a business. It takes a massive amount of time, years of your life. And for most people in their 20s that achieve this, you'll find that those people are isolated. They don't have the friend structures. They're not doing things outside of, their businesses and their work and their investments and all those things. And they inherently can't, because they are on the grind to achieve something. Now, I've been fortunate enough in, my life to meet quite a few people that have achieved this status, this dollar amount in their 20s. And I can say that they're almost all from the same cookie cutter, in that they are what I just said. They're very isolated individuals. Not that that's their personality. That's just, they haven't had the contact with the social world that most people do, in the last 6 or 7 years, because they've been so isolated in their work. They're working 10 to 12-hour days at minimum 7 days a week. Usually they're working from the time they wake up to very close to the time they go to sleep 7 days a week, very rarely with a day off in a calendar year. But that's what it takes. And it's not that if you do that, you're going to become a millionaire. You have to do that really well. You have to be very smart. You have to be very pragmatic, and you have to be lucky. And then maybe, just maybe, you'll get there. But for most people, you'll do all that and you still won't get there. Now, I don't have a magic formula, and this video is not to teach you how to become a millionaire in your 20s, because sure, there's many different ways to do it. But what I want to say here is that the lens of millionaires in their 20s is such a falsehood in YouTube and social media. And we need to make sure that we understand, because it's all about setting our own expectation. It's funny, as somebody that is an entrepreneurship mentor outside of this platform, not that I'm mentoring you now, but I do mentor young and aspiring entrepreneurs, so many of them just say, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and become a millionaire. The reality is that isn't going to happen. With statistical significance, I can say that, because it's like playing the lottery, right? You can say that even about businesses. What, one in 7 businesses are successful long term? Something crazy like that. It shouldn't be discouraging, but what it should tell you is it's not easy. And we have this lens with social media, and I've made a video about like fake gurus lying to you and stuff like that. The lens is just that the world parts and you enjoy your life, and sure, Jake Paul is having a wonderful life and he has lots of money, but that's not everyone, and that represents almost no one, because there's only one Jake Paul. The short answer is, becoming a millionaire in your 20s isn't all what it's made out to be. Yes, in the long run, it's gonna be great for you. In the short term, it really sucks. I'll see you guys in the next video.